Recently, I discovered a number of particularly disturbing mods made for the game Friday Night Funkin'. I used to be a Friday Night Funkin' channel. I kinda gravitated away from that for two reasons. One was that my living situation had changed at the time to one where I seldom had the time, place, or opportunity to work on FNF related content, which is why there wasn't much coming out of me in 2022 and most of 2023. I am back to a point where I hypothetically could work on more FNF content if I wanted to, but I've more or less lost interest in it. The second reason was because I thought the game fell off. It got to a point for me where there were too many mods I liked being taken down over drama or whatever, and too many mods popping up that I had little to no interest in. I can't really make much of a dialogue video out of Sonic.exe or Huggy Wuggy, and I don't want to. But now, it seems that the new trend is to make edgy bait mods for shock value that depict live leak type shit, depicting real life gore, death, animal torture, showing complete irreverence to the actual people who have ended their own lives. One of these modders actually tried to make a mod based on Daisy's destruction. And if you know what that is, then you know this shit has gone way too far. If you don't know, it was a video sold on the dark web involving the brutalization of an infant. To give you the extent of what I'm talking about here, Daisy is purported to still be alive today, but she will never be able to have a child because of what was done to her to make that video. And you think that going and making an FNF mod of this horrific criminal act is a good idea? I'm not going to be showing any of the assets from these mods because I don't want to expose my audience to it beyond telling them it exists. I'm not trying to promote any of this at all. It made me uncomfortable watching these mods. I'm not going to subject you all to the same. I mean, if you want to go out of your way to go look for it, it's out there, but I'm not going to show it here. I am not going to subject you all to that. There are a lot of people still who care about Friday Night Funkin', and they don't need to be seeing this shit, bruv. Imagine you're like 12, right? You're trying to find videos of boyfriend rap battling Skibbity Toilet, Sonic.exe, the imposters from Amogus, you know, the usual. And instead, you happen upon an animated recreation of Ronnie McNutt taking his own life, being turned into an FNF song with absolutely zero respect. Or you see an animated recreation of One Man, One Jar. Or a dog locked in a cage frantically barking and trying to escape as it's set on fire. And you were just looking for happy-go-lucky rap battles with recognizable characters. You didn't sign up for this shit. But there it is, right in front of your eyes. Like, bruh. Keep that shit on LiveLeak and 4chan where it belongs. There is no need to be bringing any of that into Friday Night Funkin'. Just because the modding community has a degenerate problem does not mean you need to be pushing the envelope even further. At least before all of this, if you just downloaded mods and weren't on any of these Discord servers, you weren't really exposed to the dark side. You wouldn't have really seen anything problematic yourself, just heard about it in passing. Now, with the emergence of all these gore mods and shockbait, on top of all the predators and shit in the community, it's probably better that I moved on from FNF and started making videos more often about other things. It's Jover. I'm by done. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why you don't just hand people free reign to mod a rhythm game that appeals to a wide demographic. People ruin everything, and if this is what's happening to FNF post-honeymoon phase, I don't see myself coming back to it anytime soon. I hope that when the actual game devs release the full version where you can just make and share mods in the base game itself, that they have some kind of moderation over it to keep this kind of shit from popping off. I do understand that we're all going to become desensitized by vile shit on the internet at some point in our lives, but I never wanted a cutesy rhythm game to be the vehicle of that. To exploit real-world violent tragedy for shock value and rage bait. I don't have a problem with fictional characters being vulgar or even violent in a fantasy setting, but when you introduce real-life gore, depictions of morbid and horrific real-life tragedies and shock videos to a scene that doesn't want or expect that kind of content, it becomes a problem. If it's not safe for life, it's not safe for Friday Night Funkin'. Now, if you made something about a real mass casualty incident in a way that had a message and didn't glorify it or disrespect the victims or the people involved, and were actually tasteful about it instead of just playing it off for edgy shock value, I would understand your intention, but it would still be better to use a fictional example of that kind of thing happening instead of a one-to-one recreation of a real-life incident. I mean, after all, that's what Pico School did, and that's why I'm okay with Pico being an FNF. What I'm not okay with is the depiction of real-life live leak gore being made into a mod, Ronnie McNutt being made into a mod, the real-life self-deletion of other people being made into a mod, Daisy's destruction being made into a mod. That's just not cool. It's offensive to the people affected by these actual events, and it's just downright disgusting to the general public. You can't make ha-ha funny rap battle out of Daisy's destruction and expect it to go over well. The cops who had to watch that video while going over the Peter Scully case actually cried and had nightmares for months. This has been Bridget Yagami. And next time I have something to say, I'll come back and say it.